Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Sharpening Guide. In this video, I'll show you how to prepare your new Venev diamond sharpening stone with a resin bond, also known as an OSB sharpening stone, for its first use. This technique is applicable to all OSB sharpening stones with 3/2 micron and 2/1 micron. The 1/0 micron sharpening stone requires a more complex process. This technique also works for older stones that have been in use for a while and need to be reconditioned like mine. To prepare the sharpening stone, you'll need a Bodrid 150 GV, a steel plate that is perfectly flat, polished and has a hardness of 56 to 58 HRC, the sharpening stone, a pencil, some water, a sharpening oil and a diamond paste with the same or lower micron that the sharpening stone has. To help you understand why this preparation of the sharpening stone is important, let me briefly explain. During the manufacturing of sharpening stones, the mixture of resin and diamonds is pressed under very high pressure and at high temperatures in a mold. After curing, a thin excess layer remains on the surface of the stone. This excess material must be removed to expose the diamonds. The excess layer is about 0.2 to 0.5 millimeters thick, so a new sharpening stone has more than the stated 3 millimeters material thickness. Don't worry about losing too much material after this preparation, as long as you don't overdo the first step and remove too much material. The excess material has a very rough and uneven structure under microscopic observation. We will remove this using the Bodrid 150 GV. After removing it, some diamonds may stick out further from the resin bond. These can cause deeper scratches during sharpening. Therefore, in the second step, we must process them so that all diamonds protrude evenly from the resin bond. Additionally, the surface of the resin bond is polished, giving a very fine finish during sharpening. Let's move on to the first step, removing the excess layer from the sharpening stone. To do this, draw a pattern on the surface of the sharpening stone with a pencil to better track where the material is being removed evenly. As a base, I use a glass plate and a damp tissue to keep the Bodrid 150 GV in place. The OSB sharpening stone and the Bodrid need to be well moistened beforehand. Now you can begin. Move the stone in a figure-8 motion, evenly and without applying pressure, over the Bodrid stone. Hold the sharpening stone at different points to ensure the entire surface is evenly processed. This process takes about 2 to 4 minutes. Check periodically to see if the pencil pattern is completely removed. Once it's gone, the first step is complete. Before moving on to the second step, redraw the pattern on the sharpening stone to confirm that the markings are evenly removed after a few strokes. The surface of the sharpening stone is now rough, meaning the diamonds are exposed. Now we move on to the second step, smoothing the surface. To achieve the desired result, use your steel plate. It's important to clean it beforehand. The diamond paste what we are using needs to be the same or a finer grit as the sharpening stone we're working with. The diamond paste I use is from Venev and has an oily bond, which makes it easier to glide over the steel plate. I also add a few drops of sharpening oil. Then, perform the same motions as in the first step. To make it easier, you can attach double-sided tape to the back of the sharpening stone and place your fingers on it. The process takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Work without applying pressure and rotate the sharpening stone regularly for even results. During this process, you will notice the surface becoming smoother. Only when the entire surface is smooth have you achieved the desired result. I'll include close-up pictures of before and after to give you a clear reference. To finish, you wipe the surface of the sharpening stone and the steel plate clean and add only oil on the steel plate and work for about 40 minutes to 1.5 hours with the same motion. The process is finished when the surface is perfect shiny. At the end you have to remove the sharp corners like I will show you. As mentioned earlier, this technique should only be used for OSB sharpening stones with 3/2 and 2/1 micron grit. Processing a 1/0 micron sharpening stone is much more labor intensive and takes about 4 hours. The surface is now perfectly smooth and has a mirror-like finish. That's it for the processing, and you can now start sharpening. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you want to see more of my videos, feel free to subscribe for free so you won't miss anything. Until the next video, stay tuned and remember, keep your knives sharp.